My name is Maureen Bateman. I am a member of the Seroptimus de Monterey Park Rosemead. We have done this many times in the past, and we're very happy to be able to co-sponsor with the League of Women Voters this year. I welcome all the candidates for the City Council, for the Clerk's office, for the Treasurer's office, and all the members who are in the audience. We know this will be a very informative evening for you. I just remind you that as you are listening to the candidate statements, and if you did not receive a card in which to write questions, just raise your hand and we will get them to you. And then the cards will be collected at a later time throughout the evening. We have tried to begin this meeting on time, and we will end it on time. There is a strict timetable that will be explained as we move along. There will be no intermission this evening. And for those of you who may be visitors, the restrooms are through the ante room and to the right, if you need them. In the past, evenings like this have been extremely helpful to voters because they hear the positions, the viewpoints of the candidates, and it gives them a better idea then of when they go to the polls to vote. And we hope that you will find this that way this evening. May I ask you now to please stand for the flag salute. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Maureen, and good evening, Monterey Park voters. It's good to have you here. I'm here representing the League of Women Voters of Pasadena area. This is a part of our effort to encourage citizen participation in government, and we put on these forums whenever we're asked for local candidates particularly. Some of you are old enough to remember when the League did this for the national elections even. I would like to introduce you to the League members who are here. Our timekeeper tonight will be Robbie Davis. Our chairman of our voter service is Bonnie Skolnick, who is sitting down here. A trainee, a willing trainee for being moderator is Felicia Williams. And Michelle White and Sandra Hauge will be our question sorters tonight. There are two members of the Seroptimus Club. You already met Maureen, and another woman, Tilda DeWolf, is sitting right back there. And you can get cards from them at any point you want to and write down your questions. But the questions will only be for the City Council candidates. You know, the League of Women Voters is a national organization. It's been in existence since 1920, when women got the right to vote. A fact that still makes me mad every time I think about it. We are a nonpartisan organization, but that doesn't mean we're not political. We're very political. We never support any candidates, but we do support ideas. And we do offer service to the voters, such as that we're doing here tonight. Our membership is open to both men and women. We have membership brochures here for you. And we invite you to, any of you who'd like to join us, because we continue to exist to complete the same mission we did in 1920, which was to make democracy work by promoting citizen participation in government, which is why we're here today. Our forum tonight is going to be slightly different. We are going to begin with 3-minute statements from candidates for city clerk and treasurer. And then we will follow that with a forum from all candidates for Monterey Park City Council. It's your opportunity to get to know the candidates for treasurer and clerk, but we will not be accepting questions from them. So let's begin. The city clerk candidates are starting, and number one will join you.
Hi, I'm Jeff Schwartz. I first spoke to the Monterey Park City Council in February of 1978 when we had those terrible floods that caused the hills to come sliding down to my neighbors' backyards. And I investigated the permitting process that allowed the hills to be shaped that way, and I addressed those concerns to the City Council at that time. But that was not the first time that I visited the Monterey Park City Council. When I was in college, I did a comparative analysis of different governing bodies, and one of the bodies that I compared was the Monterey Park City Council. I got an A on that paper. And I also spoke to the City Council in the late 80s on overnight parking restrictions and various times in the 1990s. I've also been involved in Monterey Park City issues such as Proposition B on the billboards in 1997 and Proposition C for the library in 1998. And the hearings by the Environmental Protection Agency on Operating Industries Incorporated, which led to the creation of our upcoming marketplace. And I've registered hundreds of voters over the years. In fact, I may be a little modest about that because I was a director of the California Voter Registration Fund, and therefore I may be responsible for more like thousands of voters. The most recent voter registration project that I was on was December 14th at a new citizen swearing-in ceremony. And I still continue to visit those new citizen swearing-in ceremonies for more voter registration projects. I've fallen in love with Monterey Park many times over the years. I fell in love with Monterey Park walking my dog up and down the hills of Monterey Park. And also, I was impressed in the 80s because Monterey Park government seemed very open then. We reelected pretty much no city council candidates in the 80s. And in 92, we reelected Judy Chu. She was the first incumbent city council member reelected in about 10 years at that time. One of my goals is to protect our votes with paper ballots and responsible oversight of electronic voting systems. We definitely don't want to have Florida here. We don't want to be Ohio here. And so far, with the Secretary of State we have, that's not too much of a danger, but she's coming to the end of her term in 2014, and it's up to us to stay vigilant. Thank you. Thank you for your votes. Thank you for your support.
Good evening. First, I'd like to thank the Seroptimus Club, Monterey Park Rosemead, as well as the League of Women Voters for putting this event on tonight and allowing us the opportunity to speak. I am running for the position of city clerk because I believe that this is the best position to serve you, the residents of Monterey Park. I have several goals for the city clerk's office. First, I want to ensure that the office itself is unbiased. The office keeps the official records for the city of Monterey Park. There should be no bias in terms of parties or any other particular personal interests or whatever interest that you may have. The information should be available to all qualified folks who request it. Second, I am a strong believer in the election process, and it is also my goal to keep that accurate as possible and convenient for the voters as possible. That's all qualified voters, all American citizen voters. I worked registering voters as a law student. I continue doing so as an attorney. I teach citizenship for the city of Monterey Park at the library across the street, and I make sure that I try to instill in them, all my students, all my citizenship students, how important the role and the opportunity to vote is in the United States of America. After all, so much struggle took place to ensure that women and minority has the opportunity to vote today. Third, I want to make sure that the city clerk, and in fact the city of Monterey Park, services are accessible to all residents and all who wants to do businesses with the city. So I want to make sure that who comes in, whether they speak English, and if they need some help, not speaking English as their primary language, that services is available equally to those, and in order that they may receive the best services possible. I believe in action, ladies and gentlemen. I've been involved in this city as members of commissions, Library Board of Trustees, Community Relations Commission. Currently, I'm a member of the Environmental Commission. I just finished my term as president of the Chamber of Commerce. I initiated the Harmony Festival Car Show, which is a very successful event today, thanks to Wayne Lee. Also, as an environmental commissioner, I initiated the community bike ride. It's over 150 riders participating in the event. I am multilingual. I was born in South America. My primary language, believe it or not, was actually Spanish. Thank you. I would really appreciate your vote. I'm ballot number 3, Vincent Chang. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Neal Alvarez. I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters and the Optimist Club. I'd like to introduce my wife and my close friend Christina. Right here, they're our campaign chairman, my close friend Linda. I'd like to thank you all for participating here tonight. Let you know a little bit about myself. I've lived in Monterey Park since 1973. I was educated at East LA College. For 20 years, I was the in-house manager of the Los Angeles County Music Center with over 300 employees. I took care of hiring. I took care of promotions. I coordinated staff with ABC for over 13 Academy Awards. I received a presidential commendation from President Reagan for coordinating his trip to the Music Center. After a change in my life in which I had a stroke around 2000, I took it to completely different direction in my life and became a set designer and prop master for the late, great Ray Bradbury, working on 5 plays. My experience in management, I think, has me well suited to be in this position as city clerk. I have a love of history. I don't know how many times my wife, I want to watch the History Channel, and my wife says, geez, can't we watch American Idol? So that's what this job is. It is not an advocacy job. I have many opinions on political items, but there's no place for that in this job. My place in this job, should I be elected, is to facilitate you and your opinions. This office runs the elections. It takes care of the history of this city. The clerk is very important. Coordinating a multilingual city like this where you have 4 primary languages, English, Spanish, Chinese, Vietnamese, all of that has to be coordinated together, and that makes this community a much stronger place. Out of this diversity comes a unity. And you see behind us, pride in the past, faith in the future. That's what I want to bring to this job. I want to be able to have you, the people, be able to participate within government, and I want the elections to be run fairly and non-partially. And should I be elected, I want input from all of you. We're going to face an area of change, the internet. Elections are going to probably be done electronically. This has to be done very, very carefully. As Thomas Jefferson, to paraphrase him, said, the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. That's what this office will do. I thank you all for participating tonight. I hope you'll vote for me, Neal Alvarez. Thank you.
And now we'd like to hear from the candidates for treasurer.
Good evening. My name is Stephen Lam, candidate for city treasurer. As our city and state began to recover from the recession, and in the wake of scandal at the city of Bell, it is more important now, more than ever, that we elect city leaders who are fiscally responsible and have the experience to protect taxpayers and put the future of the city, not their interest first. As the chair of a Business Improvement District Advisory Committee, I have dedicated my time to improving downtown, working with community to turn it into a point of pride and destination for our community. With over a decade of finance and banking experience, I have the skill and expertise to ensure our city's fiscal house is in order, our budget balanced, and our tax dollars spent wisely. As a local small business owner for more than 20 years, I know firsthand what it takes to balance budgets, cut waste, and do more with less. Local small business owners are the backbone of the Monterey Park's economy. For our economy to thrive, local business owners and residents must have the confidence that our tax dollars are spent wisely and used to help make real improvements in our quality of life. Many of you have heard about thousands of dollars in health care premiums mistakenly paid to current and past elected officials. Thankfully, many city leaders have paid back the money. Unfortunately, others, including my opponents, have not. This is the type of mismanagement of tax dollars and failed leadership that puts self-interest first. It's unacceptable. Our city deserves better. As your city treasurer, I will be watchdog for taxpayers. I will work to shine a light on the city finance, improve accountability. I will put our city and what is the best for taxpayers first. That is why I pledge to you that as your city treasurer, I will not accept a salary or benefits. I'm running for treasurer because I care about the future of Monterey Park and want to see our community prosper. I will be honored to have your support, confidence, and trust. Thank you.
A little higher. Okay. Good evening. My name is Joseph Liang. I'm currently the city treasurer for Monterey Park. I want to thank all of you for watching and ask for your vote on March 5th. My wife, Rolanda Yi, and I have been residents of Monterey Park most of our lives. Our two daughters have been residents their entire lives here in Monterey Park. They were born here and raised here. We have all attended elementary schools and high schools serving Monterey Park. We strongly believe that the schools serving our city are doing an excellent job, and we have never considered sending our children anywhere else for schooling. Before becoming treasurer, I was involved for many years with various city committees and boards. I belong to several community organizations in our city. I'm especially proud of being the past president of Brightwood PTA and my involvement with the Mark Keppel PTSA and my current position of vice president of the Alhambra Education Foundation, which all the organizations serve our children in our city. We have very deep roots in our city and I only want the best for everyone in our community. As some of you know, I'm a victim as a result of a difference of opinion between one prior and current city attorney. Although it is agreed by everyone that no elected official in Monterey Park did anything wrong, lies are being spread, and I want that cleared up tonight. The current city attorney, who was hired a few years ago, is of the opinion that years before I became treasurer, our city had provided more health benefits on behalf of elected officials than should have been allowed. As an attorney in California for 19 years, I've reviewed the regulations several times, and they're subject to interpretation. As a lawyer, I have seen my share of unsupportive claims. Because the regulation is vaguely written, there are other attorneys who have also reviewed the facts and do not agree with our city attorney's opinion. Our council voted to change the benefits in accordance with our current attorney's interpretation, at which time I immediately made sure I was in compliance, and I sent an offer in writing to the city to pay back any money that may be legally owed, but I have never heard back. I ask you to place yourself in my position. What if your employer said they may have made a mistake in the health benefits they provided you that goes back several years, and now ask you to be responsible for their mistake? I just wanted the facts to be clear on this issue instead of having false information being spread. Our city's investment policy has received national recognition for our investments, our conservative investments, and the interests that we have made. It has been an honor to serve as treasurer of our city, and with your vote, I can continue to serve you. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you, candidates for city clerk and treasurer. I'm really grateful to you, and your fellow citizens are grateful to you for your willingness to serve. We'll move now to the second phase of our evening, to the candidates for city council, in which questions will be allowed. And so please get your cards, your questions written down on cards, hold them up, and volunteers will come by and pick them up. During this period of them giving their opening statements, you'll be able to write your questions and get them in. These two women up here are question sorters. They don't have any agenda, I want to warn you. They're not going to eliminate your question because they recognize your handwriting. Just give up on all that kind of stuff. What they're doing is trying to group the questions for general readability and subject interest. I'll ask you, the candidates, the city council candidates, to be aware of the time. I assume you all can see Robbie Davis, our timer. She will give you a 30-second warning when your time is almost up. I don't want you to stop in the middle of a sentence, but please do pay attention to the timing. Okay, we have drawn numbers, and we'll begin with Joe Ray Avila, this first candidate, who will make a 3-minute opening statement. I'm sorry. We need all of you to turn on your microphone.
I got it. Thank you. Okay. Good evening. My name is Joe Avila, and it's an honor to be here. I'm running for a seat on Monterey Park City Council. I've been a resident of our beautiful city my entire life, which expands over 45 years. And moreover so, I plan to spend the rest of my life here. People who run for city council positions do for so many different reasons. I'm not an overly complex person. I want things that most people desire. Those things that we have everyday folks desire are things such as a safe place to raise a family, good schools, etc. Unfortunately, our society is changing rapidly. While some changes are positive and some have resulted in negative consequences, anytime there is change, there will be a period of adjustment that is necessary. I feel during these times that we need a down-to-earth people representing the common person's dream in various elected positions. I feel that I can relate to the public because I am Joe Public. Like most of all people, I've had good times and bad times. For example, I lost my father at an extremely young age when a boy needs the guidance of his father. At the same time, I've been blessed with a caring family and a group of friends who are family to me. In my life, I've had struggled to make ends meet, but through the grace of God and good people around me and my own determination, I have been able to keep my head above water. In light of our current economical situation, this is more than many of my fellow Americans have. This is not right. When I see wrong, I'm compelled to work to make it right, make things better. The best place is start locally. I am a handyman by profession. What I love about my job is that I'm provided with the opportunity to fix problems. We all know that there are many problems that our world and state, nation, country, and beloved city currently faces. I want to give back to the city I love so much. I want to be the everyday person's voice on the city council. As I stated before, I'm not a complex man. When I see a problem, I want to fix it, and I would be honored if you would give me the opportunity to sit on the City of Monterey Park Council. When elected, getting out there and meeting each one of you, I'll listen to your perspectives and ideals for the city and go at it and make things happen. I'm not afraid to stir the pot up. And I can't be bought. I love what I do. Just love to be the opportunity and make things right and stand up for each one of you. Thank you.
I really would like to, excuse me, but I know that you're enthusiastic about one or two or three of these people, but please don't clap. It just takes up time. You have a lot of opportunities to show your support. Mr. Chang, please.
Good evening. I want to thank the League of Women Voters, the Optimus International Monterey Park Rosemead, and I would like to thank all the candidates coming here tonight to present ourselves to make the audience know what's going on in here and know the candidates. And I want to thank all the attendees here tonight to give me the honor to present myself. And of course, the audience in the watching at the TV at home. And I'm a product of Monterey Park. I live in here for over 30-something years. And I started a family here and raised 2 children. And now, of course, they've grown up. And I love Monterey Park. And I'm involved in many issues in the city, starting in the 80s. And I'm still involved. And I would like to see a very safe city for everyone to live in and enjoy their life. And I will work with our fine police department and fire department to keep our property and life safe so that everyone can have a good livelihood, stay in this beautiful city. And before in the 90s, when there were a lot of immigrants coming to the city, I worked with the police to start the community policing to ease some tensions at that time. And we proceeded to produce 4 PSAs, public service announcements, to bridge the community and the police so that the relationship will improve. And I would like to see the roads well kept, all the potholes filled, streets clean, trees trimmed, and the parks clean and for everyone to enjoy. And water be safe to drink and so forth. And I know that the last few years, because of the fiscal problems, economic downturns, the city has been cut back. So we need a whole lot of things to do to keep all this going so that everyone can enjoy the life living in the city. And I would like to improve the infrastructure in the city, like parking structures, the traffic jams, all those things, make it more efficient for the city people to move on, to do business and so forth. And this way, we can attract more business coming into the city to make money here and start it to make more revenue for the city so that we can have more sales tax base and improve more services for the city. And I work closely with the library, and I would like to see the library open more times, 7 days a week. And because this is the best education way for children to give the tools, the public tools to succeed later. And I work with other council members and all the candidates to move our city forward. And I would like to listen to all the people for their ideas and suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we'll hear from Mr. Sullivan.
Good evening. My name is Larry Sullivan. For the last 17 years, I've been a resident of Monterey Park, and I'm currently retired. Tonight I am before you having been on a 7-year journey that began in 2005, the first time I stepped at this podium here in support of my neighbors on Abajo Drive when the hillside slid. Through the years, I have made presentations on issues, crosswalks, fireworks stands, Proposition BB, trash rates, conditions of our roads, and the city's budget process, and health issues for yourself. In all my presentations, I've remained and continue to be my own thinker. I lead myself. I follow no individuals or outside group. I answer only to myself, my family, and to my God. I will always take responsibility for my decisions. The position of councilperson is demanding of time and energy to do a job for the betterment of your community. A job that requires commitment and dedication. A job requires one to come prepared no matter what the issue faced. A job that requires reading, studying, understanding, and researching issues to give you the best decision in a strong council. You watch the meetings. Not all members come prepared. They don't read the issues nor understand what's needed. Some don't even ask questions. A prepared council is a strong council. I am the one here tonight before you, consistently prepared each time I speak at the podium. I brought you the time, the energy, and experience to do a professional job. Some issues we are faced with that I will address as a council member are keeping your cost of living down, working to a realistic and sustainable budget, develop a program to expand business opportunities, protect and develop our infrastructure, look after our seniors and services they demand, protect your kids, and more important, putting Monterey Park on a goal to meet and educate the residents on the healthy and sustainability needed to the future. As Vice Chairman of the Planning Commission, I approved a marketplace as well as added new business growth throughout the community. As Traffic Commissioner, I pushed for greater traffic control around schools and parks to protect you, your kids, and your family. As a Personnel Board member, I witnessed the savings from hiring freezes. And as an Economic Development Advisory Commissioner, due to the state taking our redevelopment funds, we had to be creative with over $150,000 we were left with. My campaign is a fundamental grassroots campaign, one built on me, my family, friends, and supporters joining together. So on March 5th, if you want a council member that is committed to task and time, one that has the ability to understand issues, one that is ready to make those decisions for the betterment of the community, one that has experience, education, and ethics to bring a healthy budget and protect your family, then vote for me. I'm ready to go to work for you as a public servant. Thank you very much.
Next and last in this round, we'll hear from Hans Liang.
I'd like to begin by thanking the League of Women Voters, Seroptimus International of Monterey Park and Rosemead for sponsoring this event tonight. My name is Hans Liang. I'm an 11-year resident of the city of Monterey Park. As a deputy probation officer for the past 15 years, I have the experience needed to maintain the highest levels of public safety here in the city. And through my duties with the LA County Probation Department, I have collaborated on numerous public safety operations with our Monterey Park Police Department, ranging from working with their Asian Gang Consortium to operations to take down houses of prostitution. Through my work with probation, I have created relationships with law enforcement agencies throughout the San Gabriel Valley, relationships that will help to make Monterey Park a safer city. As your councilman, I will commit to utilizing all the resources I have to keep this city safe. In addition to serving the community as a probation officer, I also represent deputies within our department as the president of the Asian Pacific Probation Association and as the first vice president for the Los Angeles County Deputy Probation Officers Union. During the past 2 years, I have had the privilege of serving as a commissioner on the Monterey Park Planning Commission, and the invaluable experience I have gained will help me to ensure that our city continues towards smart growth. As your councilman, I will continue to advocate for nationally recognized stores as I have been doing while on the commission, and I'm proud to say that through our efforts, we approved the development agreement for the Monterey Park Marketplace project, a project that our residents have been waiting over 10 years to happen. I also served prior as a commissioner on the city's Recreation and Parks Commission. In addition, I have the honor of serving as the president of the Eastside Optimist Club of Monterey Park, and I'm currently a board member of the Asian Youth Center of San Gabriel Valley. Thank you all for being here tonight to participate in this candidates forum, and thank you for taking the time to be involved in your community.
Thank you to all of you. That was really terrific. We now will go to the question phase, and you will have, I will read the question, and you will each have a minute to answer. And we'll start with Mr. Avila. What is your position on whether we should transfer to county fire? State your reasons, and mentioned is local control. You might want to include that in your answer.
To go county, that means less response time to your needs when you're needing the fire department or police department. County is widely spread, so you're going to get engines from different parts of the city that might delay that time that are very precious when something's going wrong with a loved one. Keeping it city, our city response, those guys are pretty good. I've seen them in action. I wouldn't want to change anything. Just give them what they need to keep on doing what they're doing. Not go county, state, city. Let the county find some other way. Thank you.
Go ahead.
I would like to see the fire department stay in our city. Our city started in 1916. It's 97 years pretty much to that age now. And we are a full-service city. If we go, the fire department go county, then we can may as well subcontract out all the city services, and we don't have not much left of a city. We would like to keep the city this way. And the most important thing is that there is not much savings when the fire department transferred to county. In the long run, other cities like Covina, like El Monte, like Pomona, they say there's no savings at all in the long run. And the most important thing is once we go to county, we lost the advanced life support and go to basic life support, which is maybe that few minutes of traveling time from the house to the hospital may be a life and death situation. So I would like to have home rule, home control, home jurisdiction of all the departments. Thank you.
Ed? Sullivan?
We have the best fire department in any town in Southern California, period, end of sentence. This decision is not my decision, nor is it the city council decision. It's your decision at the voting box.
Have your microphone on, excuse me.
It's on. Your decision at the voting box to decide what you want to do. The concerning part, though, or the bigger question is, the city put together an ad hoc commission that was to give us, the residents, their report on what they feel we should do as a county. They have not yet turned that report in. It's been over 6 months since that ad hoc committee has been put together. In my understanding, the report is sitting on a desk waiting to be published, and it hasn't been done. So you need to ask the question, where's the report so we can better understand what this situation and what this issue is. Thank you very much.
Please don't clap.
I support maintaining local control for our fire department, as do the other council members. It's been said before that we have the Cadillac of fire departments. We have paramedic ambulances, which provide not only the paramedic support, but also the transfer to the hospital. As many of you know, the LA County Fire Department contracts out their ambulance services, and even in reports that they had even stated that their response time would be slower than our paramedic ambulances. So in regards to the issue with fire in Monterey Park, my position is that we maintain local control of our fire departments here. Thank you.
The next question concerns the youth in our town and our schools. What are you doing to improve youth involvement in city matters, creating youth programs, and what are you doing for the schools specifically? Mr. Chang, please begin.
Children is an asset to all of us, and education is the tool for the children to get ahead. And so I would like to work with the school boards, school districts, the principals, to see what their needs are and see what the city can do to help cooperate with them And I'm involved with the library for a long, long time. I was appointed to the Library Board of Trustees for 2 terms, and I'm now the president of the Monterey Park Foundation. And I think the library can also be used as an education tool for the children to use and further their education. And on top of that, I'm a soccer referee for AYSO for over 10 years, and I think health and education can go together. You need to have a good health in order to study and further in your career. So education is very important, and I will work with the principals, the school boards, and the students to see what their needs are and work towards their success.
Mr. Sullivan?
I am the chairman of the Student Speakers Contest that's coming up February 19th here in Monterey Park. I have brought Alhambra High School, San Gabriel High School, and Mark Keppel High School together for a debate of the 6 top students from those 3 schools. Besides that, I also am very active with the Boy Scouts. We did a Boy Scout project cleaning up New Avenue for 4 days on our hands and knees, using Boy Scouts from different troops. I also am involved in the Harmony Festival, and I used a different organization from Mark Keppel High School to chair and to help on that. And lastly, I'm the gentleman that puts the chairman of the breast cancer event here in the city, and I use the high school students, I use college students to help us to make that event happen. Thank you.
Mr. Liang, go ahead.
As a deputy probation officer, I work with youth in my day-to-day activities. I also serve on the Asian Youth Center Board of Directors, where I started a digital arts program where young kids can produce music using computers. I am the president, as I said earlier, of the Eastside Optimist Club, and through our activities, we sponsor a lot of events that are targeting youth, the essay contest, oratorical contest, and we also get youth involved in our programs throughout the year, the Cherry Blossom Festival. We just had our pancake breakfast this past weekend where a lot of the kids come and volunteer. So I have a lot of experience working with youth in the community, and I have really innovative ideas in terms of providing new types of exciting curriculum for them that are not normally provided in schools. I believe that my experience in this area is invaluable in terms of working with schools and then with coming up with new ideas to bring youth into our city.
Mr. Avila, the question is about youth and schools.
Yes. After-school activities, sports clubs, and the girl and boys clubs are vital programs that our city needs. I was in the Boys and Girls Club many, many moons ago, and it made an impact on my life. And I used to go to the one when it used to be here on the corner. Now it's across the street over here, moved in. It's upgraded, and we need these kind of programs for our children. Teaching our children that our city cares, that the people care, and for the children to have a place to go. Because some families are, unfortunately, some situations they're burdened with tragedies, and these programs will help those children overcome tragedies that happen in their lives and in their families, showing love to our children. Got to keep programs going. Thank you.
Thank you. That's finishes question 2. We have a need for some more questions. Are you all not interested in answering questions? Asking questions? Please do ask questions about even a single subject if you would like to. The next question is about owning a business in Monterey Park. Due to the conflict of interest rules, council members cannot vote on any issues within 500 feet of their property. What business interest, if any, do you have in Monterey Park that would prevent you from voting on an issue? Mr. Sullivan, would you please start?
As I said, I'm retired. I have no business interest in Monterey Park. I used to work for myself, and I have since retired about 5 years ago. and I do nothing anymore except put my time back into this city. I live up on the hill above Bajo, and the closest business to me are the ones on Monterey Pass Road, and I share no involvement in any businesses in that area. Thank you very much.
Mr. Liang?
I work exclusively as a deputy probation officer for LA County, and that's my primary source of income and career. I don't have any businesses in the city, so I don't think there would be any conflicts for me.
Mr. Avila?
I'm a handyman by profession. I love to help people out all the time. I have no conflict of having any business that should keep me from putting my 100% attention to this council.
Mr. Chan? Are you finished? I'm sorry. Yeah, okay.
For me?
Yes, it's you.
Okay. My business is not in Monterey Park, so I have no business interest in Monterey Park. I'm totally independent, and I live up on Garfield Ranch Park area, and so it's also away from any business interests. It's only a residential area, and I do support business so that I support quality business to come into the city, and so that we can have better revenue, better service for the people. That's all I have. And as for personal business interest in the city, no, I don't have any. Thank you.
All right, then moving right along to to the issue of traffic on everybody's mind, particularly tonight. What are your thoughts about the high level of traffic in our city, and what ideas do you have to improve it? Mr. Sullivan, Mr. Liang, it's your turn to start.
We do have traffic issues. Some of the ideas I've thought of in terms of controlling the traffic is to utilize better traffic control software in our traffic lights. Also, another way, there was an actually interesting article about feedback loops in terms of controlling speeding, where you have posted signs with speed limits, and then also you have feedback in terms of giving the speed that a driver is going. And the research has shown that using these type of technologies that you're able to reduce speed of drivers and thus creating safer streets. There are other possibilities too in terms of improving the streets, but Monterey Park is almost 100 years old, so I think that in terms of utilizing better technology for our traffic signs and intervals would be a good start for that.
Mr. Avila, the question is about traffic.
The traffic in Monterey Park is kind of hectic. If we could promote more like biking and walking, jogging, getting to places, and have the bus tram have more routes to provide people with more access to our downtown area. Having some bike lanes put out there, encourage people to use the bikes more or jogging more. Stay out of their cars, get some exercise. And as for the potholes, we need to get them fixed.
Mr. Chang?
If we go through Atlantic or Garfield, going like around 4 to 6, traffic is a jam. And we know that 710 will not be here in a short period of time. So we need some alternative effort to streamline the traffic flow. Maybe we can streamline the signals. And I know that a lot more computer software are in place now, and we can use them, the high-tech technologies, to streamline the traffic, control the traffic, or divert them to some side streets. But of course, that comes to the problem of going through the residential area that then may interfere people's life, and so that may be a problem too. So we need to look into the traffic situation and work on it. And we have a traffic commission in the city, and I would like to work closely with them and come up with a better solution to move traffic along. And bike lane is also a very important issue. Thank you.
Mr. Sullivan, would you like to wrap up this question?
It's a very good question because I'm a member of the Health and Sustainability Commission for the city. This is the report that you can find online if you go there and look. And in this report under sustainability, we talk about the traffic in the city in the future, how we need to mitigate the lanes, what we need to do to make traffic flow much easier in the city. This is only one part of a major program. The other part is we need to be more productive in how we use our buses in this city. Our bus service in the city is great, but it's not the best. We've had a conversation with the city manager about this issue, and he's assured me that we are going to be going forward and designing a better bus service for you, the residents, to use, to get around, and more people using the bus service. Thank you.
Thank you. I wanted to ask you to give some very quick statements about a related subject, and that is, how will you attempt to improve street quality? Mr. Avila?
Improve street quality?
Yes.
Let me oversee the workers and I'll crack the whip.
Mr. Chang? Just a quick question, quick answer.
Yeah, as I said before, because of the money issue, economic downturn, so the city has been cut back in a lot of services and street service, and we can see potholes and somewhere a lot of them in the city. And so we need to start to look at this problem and fill the potholes and make the quality of street better. But doing that, that needs money. So there's something to consider because we have to be fiscal responsible for all the departments and not just doing the roads, and all the other aspect of the city has to take care. So this is a kind of a balanced thing to work on. And I think I will work hard with the city manager, with the finance department, with the traffic commission to improve the traffic commission and try to make the roads better and safer. And public transportation is another way to go. Thank you.
Yeah, this question is about streets, street quality. Go ahead.
I'm on the traffic commission. The city just turned around and finished repaving 10 streets. The streets were paid for by a federal grant. The city did not put any money into this. Going forward, the only way we're going to be able to do this is to keep going back, getting federal grants. And I'm assured on the Traffic Commission, we discussed this last week, that we're going after more federal grants to get more money so that we can start a progression of doing the streets. One of the things we do on the streets is every 15 years they review the quality of a street. So that's the step they use to find out and review a street to see how well it's doing. They're also looking at the streets, too, to see how the drainage is of water during rainstorms, because that's been a real issue on the eroding of some of the streets. So we're looking at that also at the same time. Thank you very much.
Mr. Liang?
In addition to the federal grants, an idea could be to get local businesses involved and do something like an Adopt the Street program where they help to contribute towards the improvement of the streets. In addition to that, in terms of when they're working on the streets, they should use the highest level of materials possible and not cut and skimp on that. And I think also in terms of reviewing the streets with the 15-year period, perhaps we have a more regular interval of reviewing the streets and the quality of the streets rather than having to do Band-Aid pothole fixes constantly. If we start with a good product and we maintain it and we exercise preventative maintenance, it will be a good way to maintain the quality of our streets. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question concerns me a little bit about its legality. However, I am going to ask it because people are very concerned. With respect to the police shooting last January, a lawsuit has been filed against the city. Do you favor or are you against settling the lawsuit out of court, and why? This will be your opinion, of course, not something you commit yourself to because you have no jurisdiction in this. Mr. Chan, will you please start?
Lawsuit is never a good way to bring the city into, because it will create more legal fees, and the outcome of the result from the court is hard to predict. It may even get more burden to the city. The city may lose this verdict, and big bucks will be sent out. So personally, and of course, I'm not involved in this case, and I don't know all the legality things in this case. But personally, I think settle out of court is a better way to go, and just because it's to save more money for the city and to save the agony of the family. And so I'm leaning trust more for settlement out of court. Thank you.
Mr. Sullivan.
I'm a believer in knowing the facts about something before you make a decision. I don't have all the facts as to what is behind this lawsuit or the direction it's taking. If I look at it on the surface, I would say you're always trying to find a way to mitigate this so that it's fair to everybody involved. I think directionally I feel that is what the city needs to do, is to sit back, take a look at the hard facts, don't deal in innuendos and hearsay, but pure facts only, and find a way to mitigate this so it's fair to everybody involved. Thank you.
Mr. Liang?
I think that you have to go on a case-by-case basis regarding settling out of court or going to court. Every one of these shootings is always it's always unfortunate when someone loses their life in a shooting, and our police have to face dangers every day. So I can't quite say that I would favor one position or other. I would have to know the situation specifically, and make a decision based on then. If you have someone who's pulling guns out and shooting at police, that's one thing. But when you come into certain cases where there's some gray area, that's another thing. So I would have to say we have to get the facts and go on a case-by-case basis to make a determination whether to settle out of court or whether to go to court. Thank you.
Mr. Avila.
Yeah, settling out of court is like admitting guilt. Our officers did their job. They made the decisions, and we've got to stand by them and fight it to the teeth. We'll come up ahead. We have great officers. Thank you.
Mr. Sullivan, you'll begin the next question. The Monterey Park City Council has voted to approve the Marketplace Shopping Center in southeast Monterey Park. This 500,000 square feet of stores and restaurants will create 1,260 permanent and temporary jobs. How will you help facilitate this 20-year project to its completion, or should it be completed?
Well, being a member of the Planning Commission, I have to say this. I have a view of what that project's going to look like. I'm very strong in aesthetics. One of the things I did in the presentation to the developer when they were here is I pushed the issue of aesthetics. It's got to be pleasing. It's got to make people want to stop and shop. I will make sure, and I can assure you this because I'm an retailer, retail development who understands this, that we will get the best people in that shopping center, and you will be proud of what you see when we finally get this project finished. Thank you very much.
Mr. Liang, the question was about the shopping center?
Yeah. I also serve with Mr. Sullivan on the Planning Commission, and we were also involved in all the elements of approving that development agreement. In terms of what I'll do, at this point, I understand that the developer is in the stages of securing easements to move forward on the project, so those are some things that they're going to have to handle on their own. But I am looking forward. It's a very exciting project. The aesthetics, as Mr. Sullivan said, are great, and I think that we all are looking forward to having some of these national retailers come in and have an opportunity for us to shop in our own city. So what I would do is just encourage, get the word out and let people know about it and encourage and build the excitement so that developers will also be excited about coming into that project.
Mr. Avila?
Big corporations don't care for them. We have traffic already. Monterey Park, we live around cities that have those chains. I don't think we mind going out of our city to go shopping if we have to. Bringing those big national chains in here, just bringing more traffic, more crime, things that I don't think the city needs.
Mr. Chan?
Marketplace has been talking about for 20 years. We are looking forward to see this common. And of course, I would like to see more quality stores, business coming into the city so that we can increase the business sales. We don't have to go to other cities to spend our hard-earned money. But at the same time, we'd like to protect the city's interests. We don't let the developers come in and take advantage of all those things. And I would like to see that we will have a very careful look at what's going on, make it beautiful, make it nice, serve all the people in the city, and serve as a regional center, attract even outside money to spend in the city of Monterey Park. And we would like to see a very balanced project, a good project coming out, and don't just sell it out to the developers or something. We want to work with the developers and work a better center. Thank you.
Mr. Liang, the next question is, what ideas do you have to raise revenue for the city?
Well, one of the things that we push forward is the marketplace project. I think we're all excited about that, and that's a first step in terms of raising revenues, in terms of tax revenues. Another thing that I was thinking of is, like I said earlier, about adopting streets, and then also we have so many parks. We have about 14 parks, and we do have budget issues. One of the ideas I was thinking also for the community to be involved in terms of adopting a park, and also contributing just a little bit, but a group of people together to pool their money, especially if you live in a particular area that's close to a particular park. You could adopt a park, you could be part of that group, and your funding and money can go to restoring and improving that particular park in your area.
Mr. Avila?
We got to invest in our water. We got water wells, the endless supply of water. We can invest in the filtration, ionization, purification, reverse osmosis, and bottle it, sell it, have our stores around the whole city mandatory to sell city water, put it in all our parks and vending machines. It just might just take off, people. But we have good water here. Give it to the rest of the world. Let them buy it. It'll pay for itself. It'll make revenue for the city.
Mr. Chan, go ahead.
We have to look into our city, look at ourselves first. Of course, we want quality business coming to our city, national chains, stores coming to our city, raise the revenue. But what do we have to offer them? So we must have improve the traffic, improve the infrastructure in the city, maybe improve some parking structures so that more attractive to the business. And I can see a lot of vacancies around in the city, vacant lots here and there. And other than the marketplace, which is the last big parcel that can be developed, we can also look at those little ones. And then the city hall has to be more business friendly, so that they understand what's going on, what's the code regulations, what is required of them, so that we can work together to bring in more quality business into the city. Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Sullivan.
We need to reach out to you and let you know what's going on in this city, what businesses are here, what new businesses are coming. Chipotle is now opening up. They opened up the other day here in Atlantic Square. A lot of people don't even know they exist down there. We need to create a vehicle to let you know more of what's happening with the businesses in the city. We need to go to the businesses and get them to start to bring they're advertising back to us into our newspaper, the Cascades, into whatever vehicle we have, so that you can see the coupons, so you can see the opportunities to keep your money and spend it in Monterey Park. Thank you.
The next question is, what do you think is the biggest challenge facing Monterey Park? And will you answer what you'd like to do about it? Go ahead, Mr. Avila.
Street sweeping signs, getting taxed on those signs. I think it's like $45, $55 now a ticket, and Monterey Park doesn't even handle that. They subcontract the workers to process those tickets. That's why it's so much. Street sweeper went around our cars before. They could do it again. I don't know why they even went up in the first place. That's just bad, just taxing their citizens like that. I think that's one of the biggest issues right now. A lot of people talk about the street sweeping signs and how they're getting ticketed in front of their own house. I'd like to work with you in the community and bring those signs down. Thank you.
Answer to the most important issue and what you would do about it.
I think the most important issue facing the city is public safety. We want our police, our fire department to be strong and give the best service to all the city, all the residents. Because Monterey Park has been a bedroom community for so many years. We all live in Monterey Park, mostly work outside of the city. And when we come home, we want to feel safe at our home. So public safety, I think, is the biggest issue facing us. And I would like to keep our finest police department and our finest fire department in our city so that we can have an ease of mind when we come home. We really have ease into the comfort of home so that everyone has a good quality life. Thank you.
Mr. Sullivan?
We need to find a way to get our finances in order here in the city. One of the things that's really a hindrance for us is the fact that the governor has released all these prisoners into cities and put the burden on our local police department to take care of these people, which puts a strain on our police department. That is an added cost that we didn't figure into our budget, yet we have to take care of it because they've been made it our responsibility. Those are the kinds of issues that strain our financial wherewithal, and we need to find ways to address these within the city, within this building right here, so that we know we can handle everything going forward and we can take care of issues like this. Thank you.
Go ahead.
I believe that one of the major issues, the primary issue, is the budget. We need to look into more ways to generate revenue for us, whether it be through businesses or through state or federal grants. There are issues regarding realignment and the releasing of parolees that we will have to take care of. But as a result of us successfully passing Prop 30, there will be money available to support supervising these early release parolees. So we need to look into how we can tap into that money and also be able to use that and collaborate with, for example, our probation department and our local police department to be able to better protect our citizens. But budgetary issues are my primary concern. I feel that we need to look into other sources, state, federal grants, and also looking into ways to tap into the money that's provided through Prop 30.
Thank you. Then the next question is about senior citizens. This voter suggests that there haven't been very many programs for senior citizens, and how would you, what would you propose to help Monterey Park seniors? Mr. Chang, will you start, please?
Seniors is a very big population in Monterey Park. We all will get old sooner or later. We will be a senior citizen sooner or later. So this is a very important issue. But I think the city has done a very good job at this time because like in Langley Center, you can have a lunch there for $2. And we have a lot of programs for the seniors in the Langley Center. And we have 14 parks around in the city. And all the parks in the morning, you can see a lot of people exercising, be healthful, be dancing and exercise. So we did quite a lot. But of course, we would like to improve that too. I would like to sit down with the seniors and sit down with the managers in the senior housing complex to see what their needs are and move forward and help them so that when it's our time to stay in the senior housing, we can enjoy that too. Thank you.
Mr. Sullivan, go ahead.
I believe Langley is a great place. It offers a lot to the seniors, and I think we should continue to fund it and do whatever we can to make it a destination for all the seniors. But we also have to look at how we get seniors to move around the city, and I revert back to what I said about the buses. We need to find better ways of transportation to get the seniors to and from different locations. I know some people sitting here that have depended on the senior bus service, and it's still a strain on getting around. We just need to improve the quality of the transportation for seniors in the city. I think we need to reinvest in new bingo machine if we got to keep them happy. But I mean, we need to keep investing in our seniors. It's very important to the heart of the city. Thank you very much.
Mr. Liang?
Oh, well, I'm not that far, but far from being a senior myself. When I'm looking in the community and I drive around, I do see a lot of programs. I see people doing the dancing at the park. They're doing the Tai Chi. I've been to Langley before, and they have something as diverse as doing Chinese opera. They have a lot of other like bingo programs and things like that. So I think one of the best things to do is be able to sit down with these seniors and ask them what they want. Because from our perspective, being young, when we see these activities going on, it appears that there's a lot going on. I also agree on the transportation issues. In walking precincts, there are certain senior homes, like the one off of Potrero Grande, that doesn't even have a bus stop. So they get kind of stuck over there and they can't move around as well. So my primary course would be to sit down with the seniors, ask them what they need, what they want, what they would like to see enhanced and increased in their senior centers and in their community.
Mr. Avila?
Yes, I'd like to sit down, talk to all the seniors out there and find out what their needs are and to come to the conclusion to make them better. The transportation is a big problem. Langley Center is great, but not everybody can get to it. So there's other parks that are outside around the city and just have to do the same thing that Langley Center at the other parks, be like a substations in Monterey Park, the smaller parks, to make the senior citizens come together more. Because Langley Center is in one part of the city, but it's hard to get to. Transportation is another problem. You have the bus routes be more open to pick up those people that needed bus services.
Next question, we'll start with Mr. Sullivan. And there are several comments and several questions here about harmony, how the City Council could work better together. Are they aware of, ethnic differences? Just maybe a general statement about how you feel about the fact that Monterey Park has a lot of different people living in it. Mr. Sullivan.
I believe I did a lot of study on this, and one of the conclusions I've come to is that part of the issue for this, quote, harmony question has to do with a knowledgeable city council that comes prepared, that understands the issues. I think that contributes to this issue of not communicating well together, because not everybody's understanding the issue and what needs to be done and how to resolve the issue. And I think that if city councils are going to sit here, it's their duty to turn around and come prepared to read, to study, to understand, and do the research to find out what it is that the issue is, so that you can work as a harmonious group together. Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
Being born in the United States and being raised here, I'm always reminded about growing up in school and them talking about being equality and treating people equally. I think that while we do have to embrace the cultural diversity in our city, I think that when we deal with people, we need to deal with people and not their ethnicity. Because everyone is a person, and we're all taught that we need to work together. So we have to appreciate that there are differences and embrace that, but at the same time, we need to treat people as individuals, not as ethnicities.
Mr. Avila?
Yes, growing up here in Monterey Park, I have a lot of brothers from different mothers. I've learned a lot about respect and nationalities and how to greet people. It's all about respect and treating people the same, because it comes down to it, and I've learned and experiences, our families of different races, our ethnic groups, we all have the same problems. It's all the same. It's not different. So we just got to work together and overcome that and smile at one each other and say hello when you're walking down the street. Learn a different language, how to say hello helps. Thank you.
Mr. Chang?
Before, I think in the 80s, there were some conflicts in the city, and that's why the Harmony Month was in place until now. But now I think we have overcome that differences. And at that time, I still remember I'm the first one who bring a line dance at Cinco de Mayo ceremony. And so that's a good way to make each other understand the other groups and reach out to each other, respect each other, talk to each other, iron out the differences. Because persons are persons. We are all different. Everyone is unique. But we have to live with each other, understand each other, and I think that's the best way to go. And diversity is a strength because we can learn from each other. And so let's move forward. Let's work together and move forward. Thank you.
I think we have time for one more question, and it's something that I'm kind of interested in personally, so I'm going to bring it up. What would you do about going green in the city? Mr. Liang, you start.
Going green. I think, one of the things we can encourage is driving less, carpooling. Another thing as well, in terms of the city, one of the things that I want to commend our development staff is that, these development agreements that we get and these environmental impact reports are huge volumes. And what they have been doing is that they would come to the commission first, and then they would ask us to return it back so that we could give it to the council to use. So little things like that over the long run are ways to go green. And I think that our Development Services Division has been very mindful of that in their efforts to save trees.
Mr. Avila? Going
green, what does that consist of? Not chopping down the trees in front of our house and backyards? I was thinking like maybe a ethanol gas station at the outskirts of the Monterey Park. Filling stations for cars run on ethanol or diesels. Going green, that's a big time subject. And I would love the city to go green. It's a good thing. Thank you.
Global warming is here, is not a myth. It's with us. And I think going green is the way to go. As far as the city is concerned, more public transportation. We have the Spirit bus going around the city. Maybe we can improve that service to more routes, more buses, and more frequent stops and more, so that people can ride on the bus more instead of driving. And of course, bike lane, we have one in Alhambra Road, and we may extend that to more areas. And I know that a group of people has already started that project. And so bike riding and also conserve water, conserve energy, And we have to make awareness to all the residents of the residents so that they can put in their fair share to save the world. Thank you.
Mr. Sullivan, close us out on this question.
The city has already been very aggressive. We now have what we call a green building code, which means any new building has to meet certain standards for environmentally friendly building materials as well as the heating, electricity that goes into the building. We have a relationship with Edison that you can tap into where you now have meters that don't take as much energy to use. We have electric parking spots in a new market square being built. We've already set it up. We will have electric parking stalls all throughout the 1,900 parking spots in that unit. We have solar panels that you can make. You can get discounts and you can get refunds back and you get grants for your personal installation. And you have to look at your appliances. Appliances are becoming more user-friendly and becoming very cost-conscious in the usage, not in the purchase, but just in the usage. That's just tapping into a small part of it. Thank you very much.
It's time for our closing statements. In the end, this went very fast. And I commend you all. I asked you about more questions, and then we had plenty of questions. Thank you very much. I hope that these candidates ended up answering most of your concerns. I would like to say that we'll have a closing statements now from these candidates of 2 minutes. And I encourage you to add to your thinking about what you're going to say. What distinguishes you from other candidates? Mr. Avila, you begin.
Okay. I'm not a real big talker or debater. I just know what's right and wrong, what needs to get done and what has to get done. And I just want to represent you and find out what those needs are and get them done. It's nervous up here. But I just want to be working for you. Make your decisions, your ideals come true up here. I'll enforce it. Vote for me, I'll get it done. I'm not a great talker, as you can tell, but I'm a man of actions, and I do get results done, and I see jobs get done, and I like to see progress, and I like to fire people when they're not doing their jobs. Let me have the opportunity to fire a few people that ain't doing their jobs. Thank you.
Mr. Chang, a closing statement that tells us why we should vote for you.
Thank you again for the chance for me tonight to present myself to you so that you can learn a little bit about me and what I stand for. And it's an honor to serve the city. And this is a city that I love and live in. And I'm not going away. I will continue to serve the interests of all residents of the city. If elected, my door will be always open. I will listen to you. I will listen to your ideas, your suggestions, and I will work with all the council members, the city staff, and all the commissions in the city, all the residents, the business, all stakeholders of the city, because I would like to build consensus. I want to bridge differences and come up with the best solution for the city. And this way, we can move the city forward. And I will make the city transparent so that everyone can know what's going on in the city. And I would like to see a balanced budget. And my background as a business person, I know how to read the numbers and see what's going on and find out ways so that we can improve the revenue and make the scarce resources, that's money, how to use it wisely. That's the most important thing. And I will be fiscally responsible for all the budgets in the city. And I'm honored to have the endorsement of Congressmember Judy Chu, State Senate Ed Hernandez, Councilman David Loud, and Councilman Anthony Wong, and the City Employees Union, SEIG 721. And my involvement in the city is my record. So I would like to ask your support. Please come out to vote March 5th. Thank you.
Mr. Sullivan, please.
In my opening this evening, I touched on the most important fact, and that is to have council members that are prepared, ones that are prepared to commit the time and energy needed to help us through these economic periods. I am that person. Over the last few years, we've seen the employees give back. We have seen our reserve funds dwindle. We have seen our personal cost of living increase. Now it's time for us, this council, to work smarter, to be prepared, to use the technology that's available to provide you the services you demand while reducing your costs and increasing our revenue. Now it's a time for the council to give to you. We must view the importance of technology to update police and fire systems, provide you the bus services you need, to help monitor our traffic, and to implement and maintain a program of a healthy environment. I'm not waiting until the election. I already got started. I toured our water facilities to make sure we will meet our needs for clean, healthy water in the future. I visited and saw firsthand how we would better served by the newest systems for recycling. I'm a member of the Healthy and Sustainability Commission responsible for developing, building, and maintaining a long-term program of health for all of us, as well as completing the 710 freeway. I just read the completed mid-year 2012-2013 budget, and I have questions that we need to get answered. Our library continues to be closed on Fridays and Saturdays. It's been that way for 2 years. That's totally unacceptable, especially for kids and for seniors. I will find a way to get those doors open. As your council person, I will bring you a plan for retail growth to generate tax dollars. I will bring you a commitment to maintain and improve services and keep them within the control of the city. I will bring you a healthy environment for all to enjoy through clean air. My first time before the council in 2005, I opened with, I am here not for me, but for our kids, our grandkids, our parents, our grandparents, our neighbors, and our friends. I have held that pledge and will continue in everything I do as your council person. I believe in this community. This is our home together. I want to be your public servant. I ask for your vote to be a city council person.
And finally, is it the last but not least? Yes. Thank you, Mr. Liang.
I believe there comes a time when the next generation of leadership will take their place in the city of Monterey Park, and I believe that time is now. Our city has faced many struggles and challenges, and now is the time for things to change. Now is the time for new ideas. Now is the time for new leaders to move Monterey Park forward, and I have the experience and dedication to do this. If elected in March, I will do my best to do my duty for the city of Monterey Park, because duty is the heart of the matter. A duty to serve, a duty to represent, a duty to make the best decisions for the city. I'm often asked, why do you want to run for city council? There are those who seek power, or others who seek recognition and fame. For me, it's an opportunity to make things better, a chance to bring people together. And for those of you who know me, you know without a doubt that I have the ability to do this. For those of you who know me, you know that I'm a leader, a diplomat, and most of all, you know that I care about people and I care about doing the right thing. Before I conclude today, I want to take this opportunity to thank my wife, Lonnie, for all her support, encouragement, and help. Lonnie, thank you. Couldn't do it without you. And thank you all for being here to show your support and concern for the future of Monterey Park. Thank you.
Now, I think you are all terrific, and I am so grateful for people of this quality willing to serve us as publics in public office. So I thank all of you for being here. I thank the volunteers who make this work. You know, it's not easy to put on a forum like this. It takes a lot of background effort, and we certainly are grateful for people who are willing to do that. It has been televised. I think you are aware of that. So, but not live. So watch the schedule for when it will be broadcast. I believe later tonight, but I'm not sure. Okay. And now, guess what? There is nothing left to do but vote.